Hello faculty. I wanted to walk you through how to use Blackboard Collaborate. So under the control panel, you will see course tools. The second one down is Blackboard Collaborate. Please notice the difference between Blackboard Collaborate and collaboration. Click on Blackboard Collaborate. It will take you to a screen that looks like this. Blackboard Collaborate list page, create session. We're going to click on create session. Name it whatever you would like to name it. I am going to name it 9/13/13. Happy Friday the 13th. And I like to do that because it helps when students are trying to find the correct session to click on whether it's a recording or going to be a live session. It helps to have the date and time of the session so they know that they are in the right place. So we've named it. You can share either with your course or you could share with other courses that you teach. I'm just going to share with this course, which is the MCC template course. You can choose the additional courses that you are enrolled in if you would like. The start and end date is fairly important. Please do not type directly into this box. Please choose to use the time selection menu here. And you can have it run for several hours. Just be careful because if you have it run into a new day, sometimes Blackboard gets a little glitchy with that. The early session entry here is how early the students will be able to enter the class. If you don't let them in early at all, they might panic and feel that they can't get into the session. So I would let them in at least 15 to 30 minutes early. I usually put an hour, unless you plan on being in the room and getting things set up. But I would give them some early session entry. You could repeat the session if you wanted to. The recording mode, you may choose manual, automatic, or disabled. If you choose manual, it will remind you to hit record, but just be careful that you remember to hit record, because if you think you are going to have this wonderful gem of a recording and you never hit the record button, that's going to be rather disappointing. You could also disable a recording if you have you just want to do a live session and you have no desire to record it. The max simultaneous talkers is how many people you want to be able to speak at once. So how many of your students, including you, do you want Blackboard to allow to speak? And this means that basically if 3 people are speaking at once, it will not allow the other microphones to come through. Blackboard defaults to 3. And a large reason is, well, you wouldn't want more than 3 people talking at once, but it also takes a lot of bandwidth. Same with the cameras. You can see 3 students at a time, up to 6. Blackboard defaults to 3 because, again, it does take a lot of bandwidth to be able to see 3 people at once through the session. Supervised means that moderators may view all participant chats in sessions. As the moderator, if you're working with students, I recommend checking that it is supervised. So if you do allow them to break off into separate chat rooms, you can supervise and monitor what's going on in those chat rooms. All permissions means that all participants have full permissions to access the audio, the whiteboard, video, etc. If you click all permissions, that will take care of this step here. If you forget, or you would like to do this manually, once you log into the session, you can change permissions, and I'll show you how to do that. Raise hand upon entry. I usually click on that specifically if I'm waiting for students to log in. That way I know when they have entered the room. Allow in-session invitations means that moderators can send invitations to join the session from within the session to other people. Hide names and recordings. In thinking about FERPA, if you do intend to use this video maybe in another semester, it would be a good idea to hide the names and the recordings. That way you're not breaking FERPA by sharing first and last names within the session. If you click this, hide names in the recording, they will then be called participants without the first and last name. I would not click integrate with Grade Center because there have been some glitches with integrating this into the Grade Center, and I just wouldn't want you to have a mess in your Grade Center. So if you wanted to grade this session, my recommendation would be to do it manually. You then hit submit. Then you see our session has been created because we have this green hyperlink and we have this purple two sideways facing arrows. You can either click on that or you could click on the green. It will now say that it is launching our session. Let me just move this box. If you have issues, try launching the session manually. So give it a minute or so. It sometimes takes a little bit of time, but if it's still not launching, make sure that you hit launch manually. You and your students are going to need Java 7, which is the most updated Java. It will prompt you to a free download if you do not currently have it loaded, so don't worry about that. This is why I say it's a good idea to let students in a bit early. Click OK. Java 7 is loading. And it's thinking. Don't worry, it's still loading. I'm going to have another box pop up soon. Downloading the application, and this is the kind of icon for Blackboard Collaborate. Do you want to run this application? Click run, excuse me. Again, it's still working even though you don't see anything. And now it is opening our Blackboard Collaborate session, which is why it's important to tell students to be patient as it's opening this room, because if they continue clicking, they will end up down here having a bunch of open Blackboard Collaborate sessions, and it's not a small undertaking by any means, so that could really clog up their computer and their online connection. So please make sure that they are patient in the load. So here we are. In the top right corner, I'll just show you the record button. I'm not going to record because I'm recording through Camtasia right now. But if I wanted to, I could hit record and have a live session with my students, and the students that weren't able to make it to the session could view it after. Here's where the hand is raised, and I clicked on the hand to acknowledge that Melissa Mushinsky had her hand raised. If you make all of the participants will be listed down here. If you make the person's name blue, you will see here, you will see audio permission. You can click directly on top of that, and I just shut Melissa's mic off. You can click it back on. You can turn the video permission off just by clicking on top of it when you see a red X. So if anything inappropriate is happening, you have those permissions to turn on and off. Chat permission, on and off. Writing on the whiteboard, sharing applications, and web tour. And we'll talk about what all of those things are. Let me just quickly click on my video. Hello. So I am in my office right now, so yes. But anyhow, I'm going to click the video off now that you've seen me. And I'm going to click talk and turn talk off. So you have to, if your students are saying, I can't hear you, you have to click on the talk button and then see this volume go up and down. If you see nothing moving there, you are not engaged in the talk button. Same thing with video. When I click video, it will show a red webcam that it's recording. So I'm going to come back down here, and you see this chat supervised. If a student does not have video capabilities, maybe they don't have a webcam or they don't have a laptop, with a built-in webcam, maybe they don't even have a headset or a microphone or even external microphone or speakers that they can use. If they do not have any of the above, they can still take part in the session. They can speak to you through this chat. They will still be able to, if they have speakers of any kind, they will still be able to hear you, and they will still be able to see what is happening, but they can communicate with you down here. Okay, you can also move this chat box if you want. Since I'm not going to be doing video, I'll just move the chat box up here. That way, if any student contacts me, I could see it quicker. This is the whiteboard. I think the whiteboard might be good for math, maybe writing equations, etc. Not very great writing with this pencil. It's just a basic whiteboard that you can use. They also have some preloaded pictures that you could use. You could use a map of the world, the United States, or you could use some basic charts, graphing paper. Well, it's been a while since I've seen one of those. So that is the whiteboard. It's similar to probably what you would be able to do on a smartboard. So if you come up here and you see the red squiggly and the pencil and you hover over it, that is called the whiteboard. That's what I was just using. This next one over is called application sharing. Kind of looks like two squares on top of each other. Application sharing is where you will be able to share whatever is open on your desktop. So if I choose to share my desktop, where you see the yellow around the edges is now exactly what the students will see. And you could open, if you had a file, a PowerPoint file, you could go through it with application sharing. If you had a Word document, maybe you wanted to go through student papers or have students share their papers through the Collaborate session, you could do that. So this application sharing is, you can either share a document directly, you could share your desktop, so it's a really cool feature, and I think most likely the most helpful across the disciplines. This last one here is called a web tour. It looks like a square, or the whiteboard rather, with the world behind it, and if you click follow me, the students will be able to go with you. So you can click and type a website in directly, and the website will open within this box. If it's a really big and busy website, sometimes it will get a little glitchy opening within this box, in which case I would just recommend doing an application sharing and showing the website that way. So again, we can shut our permissions on and off here. If somebody was being inappropriate on the microphone, boom, Melissa Mazinski can't use her microphone, she can't use the webcam, or she could, use or not use the chat permission. You could shut off whiteboard permission, you can shut off application sharing, and again, the talk and video buttons as well. So we have the whiteboard, we have application sharing where you can pull up PowerPoints, you can pull up documents, you can show the students your desktop, you could show the students web pages, watch videos together. The web tour is just where you would type a website in directly here, and they would be able to follow you through the web page that you have, and it will open in the area of the whiteboard. You can also choose load content, and if you choose load content, you can choose to, I'm not going to send it, but would you like to distribute this file to all participants using file transfer? If you click yes, it will send it out individually to all the participants' computers that are in this session. Again, that it's a great feature, but I would be careful accepting documents from your students over this file share, because you will have to be opening it on your computer, and it could have a virus. So another idea might be to use the application sharing and just have the student share their desktop or the item on their own rather than pushing it out to you. This is called pushing it out. So if I do choose to load content, I can send it through to all the participants. But if I was going through my syllabus, I could click load content and it would push it out to everyone's computer so they could save it on their desktop. And here is the record button. So that was a brief, maybe not brief enough, but and you can also add you can add smiley faces to under your name. You can add smileys and emoticons. to the chat. So students can have, wait, I'll go with this one since the Pats won last night. So that is Blackboard Collaborate in a nutshell. And again, the biggest thing I would just say is remembering to hit the talk button, reminding your students to hit it, remembering to hit the video button, the record button, and then just hover over whatever permissions. I always grant all permissions, and I backtrack from there. But the number one thing is just tell your students to be patient as the Blackboard Collaborate session is loading.